piano playing, playing all the time. He never missed a note. He kept playing as he dreamed. His mind was not hazy as it focused on what's coming from the radio. He's playing on the radio. He's playing on the radio. He's playing on the
Hello, and welcome to Live from the NSYNC Asylum. I'm your host, Paul Kitchen, and this is episode 22, I believe. It's June 23rd, 2021. I'm going to skip my usual stories and excuses for not doing a podcast for a while because that's kind of how I do it, apparently. So we don't know when the next one will be, but this is the next one. And I actually am semi-prepared for this one. A lot of times I start recording and go, oh, when was this? When was that? And have to start pulling up my web browser and pulling stuff up to try to figure out things. So I have some answers, but none of them that will help me. Anyway, recently I released volume 2 of Trip Note. It's been out for a couple weeks, I think, and I hope you've had a chance to listen to it. I will probably play, I think I'm planning on playing one song from it today. I've also kicked around the idea of shortening the podcasts so that maybe I would do more of them, because they tend to run 40 minutes, 45 minutes or longer, and we'll see how this one turns out. But the one track that I did want to, first song that I thought about doing led me to the other ones I'm going to play today. And really the theme behind today is going to be Carlos Castaneda. And my wife, Sherry, turned me on to him. She had the paperback of The Teachings of Don Juan, A Yaqui Way of Knowledge, on the bookshelf when we got together way back when. And at some point I pulled it down and she told me how cool it was, and I started reading it. And I had to go right to the next one, A Separate Reality, and then onward. And I read Journey to Ixtlan, Tales of Power, The Second Ring of Power, The Eagle's Gift. And a couple of these songs today, I think, were inspired by the book The Fire from Within, which was 1984. I can't tell you whether that's true or not. Fast forward to today, and Carlos Castaneda has passed away for a number of years. Let's see. He was kind of mysterious, so they weren't really sure exactly when he passed, but Wikipedia says April 27th, 1998. And a lot of his books used to refer to, jumping into the abyss as the final act on this planet, but it sounds like he actually got ill and passed away. Who knows? But anyway, it's controversial, and you can research him and the controversy about him, whether he was the real deal or not. I can tell you recently a couple of the books I've read that are actually pretty good. And one of them is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. You're going to hear me typing because I didn't prepare for this. Another one is, the first book was Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. And he also has a new book out now called Healing is the New High. But my point is, and I said this to my wife, whether these guys are the real deal or not, they have put together some good books. And I guess at this point in time with, just like me typing in right there, bang, what is illusory? I could go on and tell you what it is, But so a young guy can do some really good research and maybe even add some life experience to it and come out with a really good book. And I think the Jay Shetty book, Think Like a Monk, is a really good book. It pulls together a lot of good stuff. Whether he's the real deal or not, I don't know. I mean, there are some real deals out there. And Vex King has done the same thing. His books are, these guys are quite wise for young guys. So it's kind of cool. I spend a lot of time talking about, what I think is important as I get older. And, there's obviously a lot of focus on health and exercise. But I think as I get older, the health, working with the mind is maybe the most important. Equally important, at least. And so a lot of these young guys are exposing a lot of young people to this stuff. I didn't really come into it till really at a later age. But getting back to Castaneda, whether he was the real deal, as a sorcerer's apprentice or not, the books, particularly the early ones, were fantastic. And did he do his research? I don't know. He was an anthropology student at UCLA, and he claimed the books were ethnographic accounts describing his apprenticeship with a traditional man of knowledge, Don Juan Matus, who was a sorcerer. Who knows? Great books, though. Check them out, and if you want to believe in them, believe in them. I'm going to start off today with something from Volume 2 of Trip Note, 1978 to 2018. And this is a 40-year retrospective, largely unreleased music or alternate takes or live takes or whatever. It's about 60 plus tracks in 5 hours. So it's more than 4 albums. It's closer to 8 albums, but it's about 5 hours worth of music. And this song is called Your World and Mine. Check it out.
Strange sets of circumstance are playing around with your life. You would have never stood a chance of standing in the light. You seek power, body and mind. The eagle stands in your way. Twilight sets on a body of light. Were you ever here to stay? You're reaching out to the world and its lines. You're learning how to fly. I'm thinking about the parallel lines between your world and you learn to lead the life of a hunter by following a predestined path. Knowledge is handed down from one to another. Who will reveal my task? How come I can't read a map? I understand, but it's so clear. Or is it just circumstance? that need. You're reaching out to the world and its lines. You're learning how to fly. I'm thinking about the parallel lines between your world and mine.
All right, we just heard the song Your World and Mine, which is from the 1983 album Abstract Attack. Around that time, I had a band that I'd started to put together, Paul Kitchen and Petty Tyrant. And I've talked about those guys a lot in my podcast because I've only really had one band in my time here. But first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you for listening to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers 13 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info and visit paulkitchen.com for more music. My podcast, because I've only really had one band in my time here. And on the Abstract Attack album, I actually had a drum set in my studio because the band was practicing a couple nights a week. And so on Your World and Mine, that's actually me playing drums, where a lot of the recordings, particularly on the Trip Note stuff that I'm releasing, are more live takes with Scott Rischenberger playing drums. But so I had a band called Petty Tyrant, and in '84 I had an album called Petty Tyrant, and one of the tunes on there was called Petty Tyrant. Now I think this is, and the credits that I have written down way back when say text by Carlos Castaneda. I think that's actually for another track that I'm gonna play from an album called Toltec. But first let's play the title track, Petty Tyrant. And this is from the Live from the NSYNC Asylum album. And this was recorded May 1st, 2020. And you can watch the video of this up on YouTube or on paulkitchen.com. Check it out.
Might have a problem you know nothing about. As you sit, it surrounds you, your self-importance. Oh yeah, and me, I am the reason for the utter sense of torment that's raging inside you. I'm your petty tyrant. Oh yeah. voice of your self-importance. Oh yeah. And me, I am the challenge, the mountain you must climb till you realize the need for your petty tyrant. Self-importance, no you won't. To make the choice you gotta make between you and me, you must be impeccable with a petty tyrant. Oh yeah. Beyond me there's knowledge, and you can live with total abandon. I hold the power of life over your head. I hold the power of life and death, and it's yours. Petty Tyrant, and that was from the Live from the NSYNC Asylum Volume 1 album that you can find on all the streaming sites and on paulkitchen.com. And that was recorded during the COVID era. I guess we're kind of on the edge of that. We're hoping it's moving on, but at that time we were all afraid to go to the store, afraid to get gas. Since I got my vaccine,
vaccinated, I've not as nervous when I'm going out. It's starting to feel good. So we'll see if that can stick. But that was recorded May 1st of last year. The next track is off of the 1984 collection of songs called Petty Tyrant, and this one's called Toltec. And the credits that I wrote from way back when say text by Carlos Castaneda. And I believe this is from The Fire Within. I don't know his book, but check this out. This will not be on Trip Note. I couldn't remix this or do anything to it. And it's kind of funny. During this archiving and remastering and stuff, I've discovered how I must have used to work. Which years ago it started out with 2 cassette decks bouncing tracks between each other, and that made its way all the way up to a 4-track and then an 8-track. And this was during the 8-track era, I believe. And obviously I needed a 9th track. So on some songs, I'd had the 8-track and I would mix it down to a 2-track reel-to-reel, a TAC 2-track reel-to-reel. And sometimes I would add a 9th track in the mix while I'm mixing it down. And so on this particular track, Toltec, I obviously must have done that in the mix live when I did it down to the 2-track, because it's not on the 8-track. I don't have the vocal, so I'm not going to even bother to try to remix it. Anyway, this is Toltec from 1984, text by Carlos Castaneda. Check it out.
Self-importance that is rotten requires a masterpiece of strategy. Seers through the ages have given the highest praise to those who have accomplished it. I've said to you many times that in order to follow the path of knowledge, one has to be very imaginative. The path of knowledge, nothing is as clear as we'd like it to be. Warriors fight self-importance as a matter of strategy, not principle. You're mistaken to understand what I say in terms of morality. Notice my impeccability. That's all. Impeccability. Impeccability is nothing else but the proper use of energy. My statements have no inkling of morality. I've saved energy and that makes me impeccable. To understand this, you have to save enough energy yourself. Warriors take strategic inventory. They list everything they do. Then they decide which of those things can be changed in order to allow themselves to do fight in terms of expanding their energy. One of the first concerns for warriors is to free that energy in order to face the unknown with it. The action of rechanneling that energy is impeccability. A petty tyrant is a tormentor, someone who either holds the power of life and death over warriors or simply annoys them to distraction.
Okay, we're back. That was Toltec from the collection of songs called Petty Tyrant back in 1984. It's unreleased, and will, apart from on my podcast here, it will stay that way, I think. Last week, or was it this week? Last weekend, I put together a video. I'm currently getting volume 3 of Trip Note ready to release, and it'll come out soon. And I was able to remix. I'm remixing everything I can remix. But first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you for listening to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers 13 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info and visit paulkitchen.com for more music. Volume 3 I've been able to remix. And so I put up a little video using some Creative Commons open source video that I could get my hands on of a track called Regard the Light, another song inspired by a Carlos Castaneda book I read. And, refers to the shamans, the brujos, however you say it. It's definitely embrace the power plant. It's definitely a trip. So I put a video up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel for Regard the Light. And so check this out.
It's almost twilight. The night is in sight. The fog is spinning. Regard the light. The sand is burning. The door's the skyline. And the dances. Regard the light. Step beyond the curtain. Embrace the power plant. Know that nothing is for certain. This world is your command. In every corner of a dream that views are placed against the seams of strength that hold you to the ground. And if you look, you're coming down. The fire consumes from within. You dust in the road once again. Someday the paths are sure to meet. Dust in your eyes you surely see as you dance away from the twilight and embrace the night. The fog is receding. Regard the light. The sand's on fire. The rocks engulfed in smoke. And the shaman dances. Regard the light. Step beyond the curtain. Embrace the power plant. Know that nothing is for certain. This world is your command. From every corner of a dream, the views are placed against the seams of strength that hold you to the ground. And if you look,
Guard the Light from the upcoming Volume 3 of Trip Note, 1978 to 2018. And that's going to have to do it here. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be back soon for the next episode of Live from the NSYNC Asylum. Till then, take care of yourself. Talk to you soon.
New boys stayed up at night, radio playing all the time. It never missed a note. It kept playing that sweet dream. His mind was not hazy as it focused on.
Thank you for listening to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers for 11 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info, and also visit paulkitchen.com for more music.